welcome back. Got our heater going here. It's December. We're getting into unfamiliar territory here with XS's because I'm not a big starter person. I'm usually a kick person. But the XS2 has an electric start, so that's what we're going to check out today. I've got my battery pack on. I've got the positive hooked here. I want to make sure the starter is good. I'd say that's a positive. All right. There's a seal that goes in here. Push that in. New bolts, lock washers, flat washers. We'll get these all started and I'll bring you right back. So the starter's coming through here. And this is how this works. The air comes through here. You now have a shaft that goes in there. You have a gear that slides over that. And so the starter spins this gear. This spins another gear up here, which goes all the way to the other side. Again, I'm going to put our little spacer there and a little springy washer. I already glued the cover on the gasket onto the cover here, so we'll put this on and bolt this on. Okay, cover's on. Now we're turning to this side. So this is the shaft that starter spins. I have these gears already stacked. So we're just gonna put them in here. Make sure that little tab is in there. We got a big flat washer that goes here. Get our half moons in here. Once again. All right. Our little cover for them to hold them in place. And then the clip. Sorry if I'm blocking your view. I only have so many hands to do this with. Okay. Let's try to put this in again. right. More Loctite and this again. And we better not have any starter gear woes. That's all I gotta say. Okay. All right, that should hold that. So let's go up to adjusting the valves and getting that all done. Now this engine should still be a top dead center, which would be this side, and then this side's locked. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up our specs again. I believe they're the same as the XS1, but I just want to make sure. So with the XS2, I think I'm going to go 6 thousandths on the exhaust, 4 thousandths on the intake. Seems like a good number. Let me get a wrench here to loosen this back, 13 millimeter. Well, that one was snug. Give it that. All right, what do we say? 6 thousandths on the exhaust. Let's give that a shot. As we know, these like to change when we tighten them. That one feels pretty good. All right. Now we'll do the intake. Yeah, these things are nice and tight. And that's a good sign, right? We want this one, what, 4? That feels good. Give it another good tighten. Check it again. When these things are really this thin, there we go. Okay. I'll do the other two, and those will be done. Okay. So I spun the engine 360, adjusted that side. Now I'm going to spin it back around 360 again to get this right side back on top dead center. And there we go. All right, now I can put the caps on. This cap, this is a little spring action here that opens the exhaust valve when you pull the start lever, that decompression. So that one obviously goes on the one side that's got the 4 bolts, which is the left front. All right, the cam chain adjuster. Remember this thing? Let's see. Gasket goes on this way. Put a little of the 3 bond on there. I'm going to do it on this side. Then we'll be installing this. Back this adjuster all the way out. And let's see, we're going to feed this up inside. Okay. Now I can start running our adjuster in. Get a better view. This is just putting spring tension on that little push rod. And there she is. We're about even. So let's crank this engine over. I'd say that's pretty good. I'm sure it's going to need more adjustment as it runs, because it'll stretch some right away. We'll lock that down. I got to get the cap. Put our neutral light switch in. Okay, put our gasket in here, put our cap on. So the points housing and the advance housing, we're going to put new seals in them. Oil these up a little bit. Now we're going to push them all the way down to the bottom. So let me get something to do that with. Big. This one is better. There we go. So I push that one all the way down so it's flush on this side. Do the same with the other housing. All right, all the covers are on. I need the fitting here. I got to put the oil tube in. Another day for me. Back out here again. Gonna put the oil tube in here. Finally got my new fitting. I guess because it's Christmas time, you know, post is late. So I guess they can be excused once in a while. Looks like everything I order though is running late. I'm not a big fan of the way this gasket fits in here. It's like it's way too big for the fitting, and even the other ones I have are the same exact way. Alright. One of the many of these that I have laying around. Let's get this end started. Alright, and then on top we have to put these copper gaskets under here. And get these banjo bolts going. There's a passage for oil, needs to have a copper gasket on it as well. That's actually went better than I had planned. All right, now we can just tighten everything down, and that'll be our oil tube. I would advise holding the one while tightening the other here. All right. And we'll just tighten these up. All right, that's that. So right up here, I don't know if you can see it, right up there there's a spring. So we're going to replace that next, and then we're going to replace the spring on the shift shaft and install that. Well, the reason we're replacing these is if one breaks, you're not shifting anymore. These are a little bit of a pain in the ass to replace too. I mean, they're made so they don't come out. All right. There we go. This one's a little easier. So at least you can work on it outside, off the bike. Okay. Now we want to make sure this rod is clean. Any crap that could hurt the seal. Make sure the splines are good. A little worn, but I think they'll be fine. I'm going to put some grease on this. Now there's a spring here, and there's also an adjustment here that will keep this centered, so we'll take a look at that. I have never had to set one. They're usually pretty good. All right. Okay, that's installed. And you want to make sure the distance between here and here is about even. And this is what's going to shift your bike, because right up here, this little hook is going to grab on underneath here. There's little pegs. It's going to grab on and turn that shift drum when you click up or down. Let's put in our starter gear. This whole thing I took out as assembled, and there's no real reason to take it apart. If you remember in the XS1B video, I said be careful pulling the side cover apart because this will just pull right out. So the trick here is we need to get this lined up here, we need to get this over here, and we need to get this here. And I'm going to try to get this over here with the help of a zip tie. That's what I did on the last one. So what we need to do, get that in there. This little spring thing in here. And then get this guy over here. but not like that, because that has no tension on it. And that came out again. Oh, that just came out. So once again, it failed. It works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. I get everything in with the spring, which is typical. That's it. That's it right there. Whew. Well, I don't knock that out by mistake. We're good with that. Let's see, I have my washers in there. Slide that in. I just have to wait for my bearings to show up. My new one of these. And I can put clutches in and have this side pretty much buttoned up. All right, what do we do on the next side? Okay, so the seals here, we got a washer that goes on. And then we got this big clip that we have to try to get in to the slot here, which was always going to be fun. It wasn't so bad. chain guard goes on next. As you can see, this thing's been dug into, so somebody, they didn't really keep their chain tight at all times. I'm gonna have to loosen this bolt and stick it up into there. One last thing for this video, the dipstick. I'll just toss that in there. And that's it. So, we've almost got this done. Waiting on that bearing, which should be here this week. So I'll be able to do that next video, and I think next video might be it for this engine for now. Then I'm going to get it off this bench and put it on this little rolly cart. Put it away till maybe spring. I don't know, maybe if I could figure out a way to get it in this winter, I will, but it might be spring till this engine goes in. So, in the meantime, what's underneath this cover? So, this is the next project. This is a long-term project. Give you a couple of hints. It's now the oldest bike that I own. The 68 Triumph 650 had that on her. It is a child of the 60s. And it's a 4-stroke. So, sorry Yamaha, that leaves all you out. You didn't become a 4-stroke till 1970. Actually leaves a couple of big name players out. So, we'll do a little unveiling of that coming up soon. And until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.